Bridal Reflections.
And thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
Make
all
it
right.
official.
We are, hold on, wait. This is episode 8 with Anthony from Bridal Reflections.
It's his favorite part.
That's my favorite part. That's my favorite part, yeah. I think that's one of the
Yes,
coolest
yes.
things that we do, yeah.
I'll let you take it home one weekend where you can just play.
Listen, man, I'll stand in front of the mirror, I'll just click it on and off. I'll be like, I'm
Yes.
going to the bathroom.
Yes.
Click.
More information than we needed.
Well,
But anyway,
if I-
so, okay, well,
sometimes.
thank you. As you all hopefully know now, this is the show where you can get wedding wisdom without the BS. Live questions you can ask us. Anthony is here. He can answer any questions. We've got some great questions that were submitted already. All about bridal fashion, the latest trends, all that stuff. But before we jump into it, I want to give Anthony a chance to introduce himself, tell us a little bit about himself and Bridal Reflections, and let everybody know who you are. They know who you are, but
They know. Everybody, if you
Everybody
don't
knows.
know.
Excuse me. Okay, so I'm Anthony from Bridal Reflections, and it's bridal boutique here on Long Island and in the city. We have 3 locations. The business was started by my parents over 50 years ago, and now it's myself, my sister Rosalind, and our like a sister Christina, who run the show. And we're very happy to be here, and we're looking forward to answering some questions.
yes, absolutely. And definitely DM us any questions that you might have. We get them fed to us, so whatever.
Bridal Reflections specifically, it's clothing.
Yes, bridal gowns, primarily bridal gowns and evening wear. We do have some bridesmaids at our showroom in Massapequa, but yeah, primarily bridal gowns and evening wear. And we do all in-house alterations as well. So we're a full-service bridal boutique.
Yes, and I will tell you, like, if you are a bride out there that is looking, you this has to be one of your stops. If
Better
not
be on
the
the list.
only stop, honestly, because I know there's so many options out there for you, but Anthony, his team, they have.
I agree, but I'm biased.
Yeah, well, yes, I am too.
That's the whole idea.
They check every single box, and so let's jump into it because we've got 2-page worth of questions.
Yeah, it's a popular guy.
The first one here was one that was sent to us by Lisa, which I think is a question probably ever. What are the hot new trends in bridal gowns and fashion?
Yes. Okay. So what we're seeing right now, I mean, there are always dress elements that are always popular. We always get the bride that loves to have a traditional beaded ball gown, but right now what we're seeing is actually more on the simple side.
Okay.
So simple fabrics, more plain, that could be fitted or A-line in terms
Okay.
of the silhouette, but 2 elements that we're seeing from many of our designers are soft, like floral patterns,
Okay.
and also basque waist, which is more like a structured,
Okay.
structured waist, corset tops.
Yeah.
So structured fabrics, like those floral elements, whether they're an applique or they're kind of like they look etched into the fabric.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so that's what we're seeing
Yeah.
right now.
And
That's
so
a
who
big trend.
are some of the designers? I know you work with
Yeah,
top
yeah.
designers. So
So some of the designers that really have those elements are Kim Casas, Leah DeGloria. There's one Milanova, which is a very hot designer right now, that we carry exclusively. So a lot of our
Exclusively,
designers,
yes.
we do we always like to have those exclusive relationships with them.
right.
They're not designers that you can find everywhere.
Which is the whole idea.
Yeah, and we think it adds a little bit of a special touch, and we have great relationships with them so that we can work with them and kind of do more for our brides when they
Right.
choose those dresses.
Right. Yeah. So I'm just going a little off script here.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
how is it that those designers? So let's not if I was a designer,
Right.
like how would
Right.
I say I want to? How do you find that? How do you guys shop it? I mean, like what
They
happens?
reach out to you.
Well, I am not going to give myself credit on that. That is all Christina.
Okay, Christina.
Yeah, and my sister Rosalind as well. She does a lot of the buying, but Christina is our main buyer, and she just has a insane eye for fashion. She has
Okay.
been doing this for decades. She actually started in the business as a stock girl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and worked her way up from the age of 15, and is now part owner.
Wow, that's
So
tremendous.
yeah, so she's truly amazing. So we go to market. There's markets in Chicago and New York, in Barcelona that we go to. And we look as well. Some designers do approach us all the time, of course.
Right. Sure.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Like, hey, man, what do you think of this? I'm
Yeah,
sure.
but we keep on top of the trends, and then we look for designers that really have those elements. But sometimes you start with a designer, and then these trends start after that,
Right.
and they kind of build it into their collection. Whether that's from them seeing what brides are asking for, or sometimes they'll ask our advice and say,
Right.
"Listen, what are like we just met with a designer recently at the salon. We had a meeting with their designers and our staff, and they want to know what are the brides looking for. They show us the dresses that they're thinking of, and we make changes or say
Right.
add this element, take away this, and
Right.
so we kind of like custom design with them as well.
That's
So,
great.
Yeah,
That is great.
It's a process.
It's
Yeah.
really important. I mean, honestly, it's that those relationships, especially in fashion, I think are so important. And which much of it is driven by, celebrity culture and so many other things that are.
Yes, that is a big part of it too.
Yeah, sure. I mean, people on
Yeah.
TikTok. people
Whenever
are,
there's a big celebrity wedding,
That's it.
you get a jump in that
That's
kind
it.
of style.
Yeah. Dominic, real quickly. So let Peter know. So this is live. We're doing a live.
We are
folks.
live.
I need to know when we're getting live questions because the device. So if you just check in with him. So just come in with it on. As they come in, just give me a sheet of paper or whatever. So we've got enough here to keep us busy, but as the live ones come in. So all right.
Yes.
Well,
so,
a question from another question for you.
Right,
You were
right.
very popular. A lot of people
Way
were
more
really
popular
interested.
than
Yes, I was just gonna say.
It's our show,
we had a bunch that like, Matt and John who,
Right.
but a bride that is recently working with both of us
Okay,
came in,
okay.
and she wanted to reach out. So Regina Lena, this is going out to you. What if you're a bride, but you like contrasting wedding styles? So things that don't normally go
Yeah.
together. Will you mix and match? How does the process work?
Yeah, I mean, so sometimes brides will come in. They'll like, I mean, that could kind of work two ways. One, you could have different contrasting elements in dresses, which we can.
Nicely at first, like, hey,
Yes.
yeah, well,
I think nicely is always the best.
Well,
way.
Yes.
I'm just
The way
gonna
I
say,
would
as
do it.
coming from someone who hasn't recently purchased a wedding gown,
Right.
You would have a bride who was looking for a specific thing,
Right.
and then you would say, hey, to this designer, can you incorporate this to their? Is it artwork to them? Is it a personal thing?
Yes.
Like, how do they take it?
So we're honest on this show. Right?
Listen,
we are honest.
we're trying to get to the
You're
bottom
getting
of
the
it.
So
straight
yeah, so
scoop.
yes, I'm not going to name any names.
No, don't. We're not here to call anybody out.
But there are some designers that do look at their creations as personal works of art.
Yeah.
And they are more resistant to making changes than others. Sometimes they will flat out refuse. But it's not always a personal thing. Sometimes it's because a bride may envision something, but it's just not or the fabric for it, or it's just their factories.
I get it, by the way.
Yeah.
Honest as I do. I get it. Where you're like, why would you want to? This is what
What I do.
Right,
This
right.
is my
vision.
yeah.
No,
This
I
is
know,
what I
know.
says.
But as I said, we'll try and make that vision happen as much as
Right.
possible. We have we have a team of alteration specialists and
Yes.
these people have sewing trades, and so we can do things, make most things happen. But a lot of the designers are good about that, and a lot of the times they let us know ahead of time what changes can be made,
Yeah.
to the dresses.
Yeah,
So
because
we
it
know.
is art, but it's still a customer.
Yes.
Driven
Right.
artwork.
Right.
Yes,
We
it
Yeah.
is. And there's there's obviously you
Yeah,
work
and,
the
and
balance
most
pretty well.
and
Yeah.
most designers want to work with us and the bride and make that
Yeah,
make
they
their
wanna.
vision come true.
And honestly, if the designers made it and the brides purchased it, and your team makes the changes, the designer doesn't know anyway.
Yeah, they don't.
Well, but and that's what I'm wondering if they see, hey, so
Nah,
Sylvia
we don't
Fox
post- they
shot
don't
that
post-
wedding.
No, no.
We
That's
don't
not
post
the
those
way I
photos.
had that
And-
We
dress.
don't post those.
And yeah, we've never had an incident where we've
Right,
had that and
no.
they come back and say, what do you do to
No,
our dress?
we're not looking to piss off any designers here. Not
we
at
make-
all.
yeah, we make
no,
it happen
No,
beautifully.
absolutely not. So, all right. I think this is kind of like a common question. So, how many people can come to my dress shopping? I know this is a huge deal. So,
Yeah.
how many people is there? Like Sienna asking this question.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a limit? Like, how does that work?
So we do have a limit at our salons. It's 4 people
Okay.
for a bride.
Including the bride or four
no,
people?
4 people in addition to the bride.
Right.
Okay.
So we, over the years, we've kind of come up with that number as kind of the sweet spot.
Right.
Because some brides that have no issue, some brides come alone.
Right.
Some brides will just
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay.
more in our city salon. It's funny.
Okay, wow,
Yeah, more in our
interesting.
city salon.
They
But
come on their lunch breaks? Like,
they just want to come make a decision and that's
Right.
it.
Yeah. Not have all the outside
No,
influences.
they don't want any.
Right. I get that.
Some brides will want to come first alone, maybe, and then bring people,
Okay.
to a second appointment, a follow-up appointment. But you don't want to bring too many people. I mean, we've had situations where people, bring 8, 10, 12 people in the past, and it just becomes a little bit too many
chefs?
too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah.
In the
Yep.
kitchen. Everybody's got an opinion.
Everyone's got an opinion. I mean, we've seen it. Brides will be literally crying in a dress because they love it so much, and
And one of the bridesmaids doesn't.
one of the bridesmaids makes a comment, and
Oh, yikes.
that's it.
Yikes.
And that's it.
Boom.
More concern than losing a sale that way is that the bride, it just puts the doubt in the bride's mind.
Yes.
When she was
Yes.
so sure, and we
Yeah.
feel bad,
Yeah.
But we do offer VIP appointments.
Okay.
So for brides who would like to bring more, and when I say 4, that's typically we have to stand by that more during the weekend.
Okay.
If
yeah,
the bride
sure.
makes an appointment during the week and she has 5 or 6 guests, we can usually accommodate.
Right,
That. So,
right.
And sometimes we can on the weekend. It depends.
It
We
depends,
try.
right,
We
right. You
try.
try your best.
We
Yeah,
really
sure,
try.
sure.
But we have to make sure that the space is comfortable for all
Sure,
of the
yeah,
brides
you've
that are
got
in at
to-
once.
yeah.
But we have the VIP appointment. So with that, it is an extra fee, but the bride can bring up to 10 guests. For that.
Okay. All right. So you can have more.
Yeah, and it's a longer
Right.
appointment. They
You
get-
allocate more.
Yeah, they get
Right.
a little bit of snacks,
Right, okay.
bubbly, and
I'd like
All
a
right.
snack if I'm trying on some outfits. Yeah.
Because I would imagine they're spending hours there, right? I mean, it's got to be.
Yeah, I mean, our appointments are 2 hours, but the VIP appointments are 3 hours. But,
Okay.
it doesn't always go 2 hours.
Do the VIP. I mean, you're doing this once.
Yeah, I mean, look,
You know?
if a bride has a large number of guests she wants to bring and she kind of wants to make an experience of it, we definitely recommend the VIP.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the whole wedding planning process is an experience.
Yeah,
And you're
yeah.
you're a bride. You're
Right.
VIP, by
Yes.
default.
Right.
Yes. The guy's not even there. So, you're like, hey, this is just all my,
Yeah.
It's
loved
her
ones.
friends,
Yes,
it's her outfit,
it's her
yeah.
grandmother,
And
it's her aunt.
and look, and if they don't want to pay for it, they can.
Right,
That's a
yes.
great gift.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
You know what?
Yes.
Ask mom, ask grandma, ask the aunt.
Oh,
Listen,
how
How about
the
that?
VIP appointment.
Frank
Exactly.
DeBale, it would be really nice. I'd love for all of you to come, but it's this VIP treatment.
Listen,
It
Aunt
costs a little
Maria,
extra.
we only have 4, but there is this VIP thing that we could do. Aunt Maria's gonna be like, what? Here's
Yeah.
my card.
That
Right,
the whole
exactly.
bridal party could come.
No, that's
very
awesome.
funny. Yeah.
No,
but-
but in all seriousness, it's a nice experience.
Yeah, of
It really
course.
is.
yeah, treat
Yeah.
yourself.
I mean-
Right? How many times you get married?
Right, exactly.
Well, that's the thing. We like you guys. You strive to make an experience for the bride. It's not just coming for photography or music. It's the whole
the whole thing.
the whole
Yeah.
process, the whole excitement about it, and the dress is a huge element of that. And
Yeah.
you want to make it a special thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It
And
is.
we do. We all do here. Nobody on this show ever is going to not be working to make it an absolutely perfect thing. If you're a vendor out there that doesn't make it perfect, we don't want to hear from you.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, we have been hearing from a lot of vendors.
Yes, as a matter of fact.
And
Yeah,
we
a lot
are
of people want
happy
to come and hang out.
hang out. Let us know. We are booked into, I think, end of July now.
Oh,
by the
it
way,
is?
Yeah, I'm going
yeah.
to make an announcement now tonight, just because we've been kind of holding back on this. Next week, so this is a first time here. We are going live with the pod to Bridal Reflections.
Yes.
So they are doing their grand reopening, which I'll let Anthony tell you about next week, of their Car Place Salon. We're going to go live. We're going to show you the behind the scenes, the whole part of it, and so take us a little bit through like what's happening there. With, you told us
renovation.
beforehand,
Yes.
but
So-
it's like wow, it's been a big undertaking.
Yeah, so we've been doing renovations at the Carl Place location since I think we started January, February.
Seems like forever.
It's a little bit of a blur at this point.
Too long ago. Either way, yeah.
But it takes a lot of time. So that salon has been around since the 80s, and
Right.
we've of course renovated it since then. But it was always kind of in bits and pieces.
Right.
So the layout of the space was just at this point not working.
Right.
So we decided to, we just needed a complete refresh. So, we gutted the entire space. We first, we actually switched the evening, where the evening wear was and the bridal was, we reversed it. So we had the advantage of being able to, while we did one side, keep bridal open.
Right.
When that side was done, move it over and
Keep bridal open.
keep bridal open.
Keep bridal open,
we didn't
yes.
have much downtime, which was
Right,
which was
is
helpful.
great. Yes.
Yeah. So
Exciting.
it's going to be done next week.
Yes.
And
Better be done next week.
it better be
the
done.
contractors out there. It better be done next
Yeah,
week.
next
We're going to be
Wednesday
there with all
is the
these
fashion
cameras and all
show.
this gear and this,
Yeah, we decided
fashion
to do epoxy floors, which
That's all you did. Was,
which
yeah, I know.
is
Yeah.
it looks amazing, but
Yes.
it's a
More than you think.
It's more complicated process, but it's
Yeah.
gonna really
Not
come
like
out.
putting down ceramic tile. Put it that
No,
way. Yeah,
it's gonna
yeah,
come
yeah.
out really beautiful, and we're excited for our brides to see the full.
Yes.
The bridal salon has been open for a while, so people have seen it, but the full salon will be open next week, and we're having the fashion show on Wednesday.
All right.
That
Which
is-
we will be there.
yeah.
Yes. And who do we have to? Any secrets you want to reveal as to designers, or you want to keep that under hush hush?
No, so the fashion show is for our designer Eva, my lady.
Okay, even a lady. Okay.
Who is an amazing designer who has been in the industry for decades,
Yes.
but has always been able to reinvent herself, but also keep all these elements of her classic look that is
yeah.
Eva, my lady. So we get brides that love the Eva, my lady collection now, but also their moms.
Yes.
Remember.
My wife had.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Their moms
yeah.
remember getting their Even My Lady dress. So
wow.
it's amazing designer. It's going to be a great fashion show. If you want to attend and you have not RSVP'd, you can still do that.
Yes.
So you just call the Carl Place Salon. Can I give you the number?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course.
That's
yeah.
all.
Yeah.
516-742-7788. Call them. We're open 7 days a week now. So give them a call. Say you want to come to the fashion show, and we'll get you.
Yes. Or slide into our DMs,
Yeah.
as Matt likes to say.
Yes, you can bring guests as well.
Yes.
Up to 4 guests.
Up to
Otherwise,
four.
you got to get the
Up to
VIP.
You're not bringing in 10.
And then
Don't bring
VIP
10.
is
Okay?
a little extra.
There's
No,
going
for
to
the
be.
fashion show, the more the merrier. The
Yes.
more the merrier.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm
But
sure.
we
it's-
will have a capacity, so at some point we have to
Yes.
limit it.
And
But,
they are great, and we've done them in the past, and they are
Yeah.
literal fashion shows like you are.
Yeah, no,
you know.
we professional models. These are like shows that you would see at Bridal
Yes.
Market Week.
I'm always
Bridal
looking for
fashion.
Ann Winter. I'm always like, where's Ann with the big glasses? Right? Anna Winter, right? That's her name.
Anna?
Anna Winter.
Anna Winter. Yes. Yes.
And then after the fashion show, there will be the Even My Lady trunk show. So the brides can then make an appointment to try on and shop
right.
for an Even
Now
My
a
Lady.
trunk show, because I hear.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
give us like a synopsis of.
Yeah,
that.
we get. That's a good question because we get that a lot. So a trunk show is basically when we bring in new dresses from a designer.
Right.
So we have them most weekends at the salon. So we'll feature a different designer. So we bring in new styles. There is special pricing at that time
Okay.
if you purchase from that designer.
Right.
But sometimes brides will ask, "Well, can I only try on that designer?" No. We have new stuff from that designer,
Right.
but you are free to try on from
Right,
other
whatever you'd like.
so
Yes.
so in terms of selection, it's like a normal appointment, but you just get that added,
Right. Okay.
bonus of those new
Good.
dresses. Yeah.
All right. Live question coming in here. So, what is? This is What is
Yes.
an ideal budget? I don't want to break the bank, but I also don't want to be under budget. Can you give me an idea?
Right.
Actually said it's 700 to 1,000 enough. Like what? I don't know. So, but
Yeah. What
Right.
does a wedding gown cost?
Yes. So one of the things that we ask brides when we make our appointments is, what is your comfort zone in pricing?
Right.
Because we want to respect that.
Sure,
for you.
of course, yeah.
Everyone is different. Everyone has a different comfort zone. So we like to know that up front so we can tailor their experience. So the way our salons work, we carry dresses from about 1,700 up to over 20,000 in our city salon.
Okay.
The city salon is more 4 to 20,000,
Okay.
and the Long Island salons are more that 1,700 to 10,000.
Okay. Right.
So we have a wide range. and we of course will work with brides on pricing.
Right, sure. Yeah.
So, it's good to have a number in mind, but it is good to be a little bit flexible.
Right.
You don't want to be.
One wedding dress. I mean, if you're going to splurge on anything, it's like, I feel,
Well, yeah, I mean, but we understand that, not everyone doesn't have that ability. So
Right.
We recommend having a little bit of a flexibility, like within like maybe like a $500 range.
Right.
So if you're thinking like two, be open to maybe
2,500. Right, exactly.
It'll just open up a lot more options
Right,
for
exactly.
you.
Yeah,
And things like that.
Yeah.
But
So somebody can come in and say, hey, listen, I'm around, 2,500 or whatever, and you say, okay, now I can show you a range from 2 to 3. You know what I mean?
right, like
you
we'll
can really-
we'll start in that $2,000 to $2,500 range, but then
And then go.
Yeah, but then the bride, the stylist will also ask the bride. I have something that I think you may love.
Mm-hmm.
It is a little bit above where you said you wanted to be. Is that okay?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
I'll
exactly.
I'll go up to 3.
Right.
So then we can start bringing
Right.
more things out.
And then
It's really just a matter of being respectful.
And then when Aunt Maria's there, who got invited, the VIP, she's like, well, you know what? I will add in.
Wait till you see my
Right, wait till you see my
things
niece.
at the $15,000
You see
range.
my niece in this dress because I bought, yes. So
Right.
that I'm sure that happens often too. So Matt, we got a question here for you. Want to throw something your way?
Oh, thank you, buddy.
My goodness, wow, right? So this is, I feel like, happens less and less. I want to throw my bouquet.
Okay.
My fiance does not want to do the garter, but I want him to. What should I do? Asks Kelsey.
So Kels, it goes like this. Of course, all right. So as far as throwing a bouquet, I will say sometimes it does depend on the age of the bride. Okay, if you're a little bit younger and you have some friends from college and you have a good portion of your friends aren't married yet, that's really the take home. Throwing the bouquet is so fun. Right, because it's a bunch of excited young women who are looking to get engaged soon. Whereas sometimes some of the other brides, a little further on, maybe they were the last ones of their friends to get married. You don't want to necessarily single out the one girl who maybe didn't get married yet and just kind of hand her a bouquet. So consider who you're throwing your bouquet to before you necessarily throw the bouquet. As far as the guy goes, all right, very specific.
Guys, listen up here.
Not all guys are meant to strut across a dance floor and take a garter off of their bride.
You know who you are.
All right, you know who you are. You know your comfort level with strutting in front of your new father-in-law to take something off of his baby girl's leg. It might not always be the most comfortable in the room. All right?
Yeah, you might be like,
But playing devil's advocate, I had a groom this past weekend, and he was a semi-professional dancer, and this guy took his jacket off, swung it around his head, and very cool, funny, entertaining, and tastefully took this garter off. It was awesome.
Right.
So if you have the kind of guy that can pull it off, definitely give him the nudge. Hey, because it can be very entertaining
Yes.
for your guests. It can be a real centerpiece of the party. Like, hey, that was really great.
Right.
But also,
You gotta know.
yeah.
Not with the teeth. They're not doing that anymore, right? With the people with the
He
teeth.
didn't teeth this time.
No, but I'm
didn't
saying in
teeth,
general, like that, because that used to be a thing that, like, are people still doing that? Like with the.
You know where it happens the most is where the guy who will catch the garter will put it on with his teeth.
Oh,
and sometimes
okay,
that's
gotcha.
even more uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah.
But,
For the. Yep.
but also ends up being pretty funny. In that moment, man, you can make everybody twitch.
In
But
that moment.
Later on, day later,
Yep.
the story after the
after
party.
you've sobered up, you're like, what?
Yeah, what did I do?
Just
and the
do?
pictures come out really entertaining. So
Yes.
if you
Yes.
if you have the personality for it, I say push him. If you don't recognize that, and please don't make that man walk across the floor and take anything off you.
Yeah. All right, Anthony. This is, I feel like, happens at always. So outfit changes during a wedding. What can you offer to brides who want? First of all, it happens pretty much at every wedding now, right? There's like an outfit change always.
Yeah,
right? So
well,
Yes.
I've had it the past couple of times.
And then it's something more fun for the last hour. So kind of I mean, give us your
Yeah,
thoughts on that.
I think it's great. It gives the opportunity for the bride to not only switch up her looks, but towards the middle end of the wedding, be a little bit more comfortable.
Right. Yeah.
Dancing and everything and having fun. So I am all for it. we have really nice options for that.
Right.
You know, little white dresses and minis.
Yeah.
So-
You can kind of dance
Yeah, yeah,
in,
yeah.
have some fun, you know.
Yeah,
I mean,
or
like-
sometimes brides won't do a mini and they'll do like an actual second dress.
Right.
But maybe something a little bit more
whatever.
loose, and they can
Loose,
yeah,
exactly.
dance in
Yeah.
it better.
And I'm sure.
comfortable.
So do you re-announce them? Like, do you or you know, like what happens?
That same party I was just talking about, where the guy was a semi-pro dancer. Obviously, he was marrying a semi-pro dancer also, and she came out in her second dress, which was a tango outfit.
okay.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, we did a
Yeah.
whole second grand entrance to them. They came in strutting their stuff, doing their thing, and actually they put on a little dance show for everybody. It was awesome. But yeah, the second gown was almost as elaborate as the first one, but a little bit more move-inable. I don't know
Right.
how
Yeah.
you say it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of the minis have that kind of look with the with the beading and everything. So
Yes.
it could be like you're.
It was still
Dancing with the
fancy.
Stars, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I think that was it. Yeah. You know what? Now that you say it, yeah, it was very Dancing with the
Yeah.
Stars.
Yeah. There's no wrong answer. Out couples honestly
Yeah,
like
it's
personal.
personal preference, but a lot of brides are doing it, and we have the fashion for
Yeah,
it. So
yeah, and that's I really think in general, as you're planning your wedding, you know, this is your day. So if you know, there's no like, well, that's wrong, that's right. It's like what you're comfortable doing, what matches your personality, what matches your vibe, you know, your crowd. And yes, you know, if you're that groom, and think about your father-in-law watching you as you know. So
Listen, man, that does kind of get real, you know.
I got 2 daughters. You don't have to tell me. So.
Well, speaking of you, John, all right. I mean, not for nothing, Aunt. You weren't the only star of today's show, okay?
He's the biggest.
But a little bit of controversy for you, John. You ready for this?
Okay, I am.
So, question number 9 from Tracy. I'm thinking of doing a content creator. Do I still need video?
Love the question, Tracy, and I think I've got the perfect answer. So content creators are a great thing. They have the ability to deliver to you literally something that happened yesterday, today. You know, so you got married on Saturday, on Sunday you're seeing reels and video clips from your day, which is great, and that immediacy is an awesome thing. I would never do it in lieu of, because it's captured very differently. Most often it's captured with phones, or obviously in a vertical format, which is very different. So if you want to sit down with your parents or your grandparents who are used to seeing widescreen, you've got your home theater or what have you, and you're watching this sort of 9:16 view.
Yeah, it's an interesting
and it's
point.
also shot differently. It has a more behind the scenes kind of perspective, and so which is great, but I would never do it in lieu of. So if you can kind of squeeze it into your budget to do both, and listen, content creators are exploding in something we offer, but I do feel like you have to look at your budget and say, hey, which is most important? Longevity wise, I feel like if you have to choose, I would still choose video, just because that honestly, you could post clips of your long form video like a couple weeks later, that are higher quality, still great. It doesn't have the immediacy, but you know, I think to each couple is different. But I will say that I wouldn't do it in lieu of. I would say I can do it in addition to, and obviously, you know, how you consume content has a lot to do with it. If you're somebody that can sit on your phone and just scroll and watch, like, you know, Breaking Bad on your phone, okay, hey, that might be just like your thing, good. But I find that, you know, especially as your video is one of those things that you're going to watch years from now. It's like reliving the wedding. You're going to look at your photos much more often. But when you watch video, it's kind of like, oh, there's somebody, oh my goodness, you know, there's grandma, there's so-and-so, and it has a more kind of, like you're back there in time.
Yes, the
Sights,
staying power
sounds,
is real.
you know what I mean? So, yes, but great question by Tracy there, and we get asked it a lot.
Yeah,
you know?
well, and speaking of the sound, I just want to point out also, you know, from an entertainment standpoint, always the videographers come over to me and ask to plug a audio line through my microphone and speaker. So anything that is picked up on the mic or anything that's played through my my stereo system, will be picked up on the video directly. So speeches and anybody singing on the dance floor, a lot of that gets recorded much more cleanly than through a phone.
Yeah.
So
for sure,
as
for
far
sure.
as the quality of the memory, I would say the videos.
And
got
phones are great
a little
nowadays.
better.
We've got an S25 up here, I think, right?
2 of them, yeah.
Two of
S25s
them.
are
And then a
from the
child's
future,
phone,
yeah.
as I think it was called, my iPhone.
No, some people
Ancient
call them
technology?
iPhones.
Yeah,
Some
okay.
people call them
Okay.
iPhones.
Okay.
I really like Ant and his style.
Okay, yes.
And you would think a style guy.
Look, I've used iPhones all my life, and I just made the switch, and
Okay.
everyone's giving me crap for it.
Okay, but
Fine.
you like it? You
I
feel
love
like
it.
you
I
vibe
love
with
it.
it? Yeah. Okay. It integrates into your Apple.
Yeah, I use Gmail and all the Google AI
Okay,
stuff kind of
okay.
just all flows.
All right.
It does. It
it's
does.
Great.
You know,
It's great.
I knew you were brilliant. I something about
Explore
you
it.
guys.
Explore the Samsung.
Okay.
It's
Samsung will be a sponsor of
The
this
whole
show
world.
probably within about a month.
That'd be cool.
All right, we got a question here for Ant that came in. So,
Yeah.
Haley says, my bridesmaids all want to pick their own dresses. What rules can I make to standardize them? Gotta take that bridal party and get them under control. What are we doing here?
So, really, it's kind of simple. You really just want to have them choose the same designer and color, generally.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
That's how it works most of the time. So you'll say, okay, you can choose any dress from Jenny Yu in this color.
Right.
And then, it'll be all match. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
You really just have to be careful with bridesmaids in terms of the colors not matching. They have to also ideally be from the same dye lots.
Right.
Which is why generally you order, the same dress.
From this, right,
Right,
exactly.
but if you want them to, if they want to all be in different styles, really, the best thing to do is just pick a designer and a color.
Right.
But then there's other elements, like if you don't want anyone with a shorter skirt, or you want
Sure,
a longer,
right, yeah.
that's all personal preferences. You can specify whatever you like with that. But the best way is to let them choose a designer, choose a color, go at it, and then you kind of say yay or nay.
So within each designer, they might have several versions of a bridesmaid dress that'll all be the same color. And
Same color, and fabric is important too, because
Okay.
a certain color in a chiffon could be different from a in a different
obviously.
fabric. So so you want to also
Yeah.
same fabric. as
Yeah,
well.
it's a fine line there. Bridesmaids, no.
Yeah,
bridesmaids, be a little understanding. It's the bride's day, so I feel like that's actually good advice because the last thing you want to do is pile more stress onto the bride.
Well, don't aggravate the bride. But so people argue about that in your shop. Oh, or you've seen it before.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we've seen
just
everything.
curious.
We've
Yeah,
seen everything.
I'm
but
sure you
but
have.
honestly, that works very well when you just do that. You choose a color, you choose a fabric, you choose a designer.
Give
and then
guidelines.
Yeah, like give the guidelines. You let them,
Yeah,
Put 'em
work
in a
within
box
this
for 'em to
framework.
figure out, yeah.
Yeah, you have all the choices you want as long as
And,
it's
As long as
it's
designer's
right.
choice.
Right.
Yeah.
It's good too because it gives the bridesmaid a little bit of ownership of the dress, and
Right.
and they feel like they're also buying something that they like more, and that
Right.
they can maybe rewear another time.
Right.
So
Right. Okay.
It's
Very fair.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, just to recheck, so we are here on the Ask Us Shit Live pod with Anthony Micari from Bridal Reflections. You got your questions? Please send them in. We've got some great questions that have been answered already, and some more to go. Really, a lot of the questions come in beforehand. People see who our guest is, and boom, they're sending them in left and right. So,
Well, it's just really fun when this one particular bride, who again is working with us both, we're really lucky to be working with her at one of our favorite venues. So another one from Regina Lena. This is going out to you. She wants to know, how do you prepare for wedding dress shopping? Like, is there something that you're expecting the brides to do, maybe research wise or whatnot? Yeah.
the key to preparing is to not prepare.
Really?
Okay,
Is that
right,
is that
right.
the truth?
It's not prepare, but don't over prepare.
don't over.
Do not over prepare. Do not overthink it. You are not limited to one appointment. You can come back.
They come back.
Basically, you don't want to like box yourself into anything. So you want to definitely look online, have a little bit of an idea of the type of style that you like.
Yeah, something that you're looking for.
Something that the stylist can kind of get started with. But I can't tell you how many times brides come in, they have a style in mind, and then they go with something completely different.
Yeah.
And if you see something on a hanger and you don't say no, still try it on because it could look completely different hanging
Yeah.
from a hanger
Oh,
than
I
it
can see
does.
that.
what you're
yeah.
saying.
And it does on
All
a-
right. I was saying, well,
I can see that.
Yeah,
I've
it
seen
does
that.
on.
Yeah,
So,
I've seen that myself.
really, that's the best way. Just get a basic idea of where you want to be. You know, you can obviously things like where you're having the wedding, the time of year.
Mhm.
All of that has to be factored in.
Yeah.
You know, if you want any accessories, do you know if you want a veil? Do you know if you want just a headpiece?
Right.
But the key is not to over prepare. Let the stylist guide you. They're
Yeah.
professionals. That's what
Yeah.
they're there for. You know, we hire the best. I gotta say. So, you know, let them guide you.
Yeah, a little bit of information that you find online,
Right.
It can be a dangerous thing because you're like, I need it.
Yeah, but
yeah.
sometimes we have brides that, you know, they'll be like, oh, I have an, you know, they'll email me, I have an appointment coming up. These are the dresses that I saw online, and they'll send me 30 dresses, and that's fine. You can do that. I will personally go through your list,
right,
find the dresses, have them pulled.
in the VIP treatment.
right.
No, outside of the
Normal treatment. Yeah.
Normal
Normal
treatment.
treatment.
No, we'll personally do that, but that's fine. But you know, then we find really that they come in and it's like they don't like half of them.
Right.
You know, just have an open mind.
Have an open
let
mind.
your stylist guide you.
And sometimes
that is key.
I hear from brides where they basically expected to love one dress
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
we're like, oh my goodness, I saw this, you know, it was on a model or something, and then you try it on, and yet then you
It's
try
not
on
the
some
same.
other dress that, why don't you try this? And they do, and you know, wow, this is it.
That's
And most brides, I feel like when they put it on, they
all
know.
the time. Yeah, and sometimes brides will have a long list of dresses, and they literally try on the first dress. They're
It's a
like,
wrap.
that's it. That's it.
Yeah,
This is it.
done.
I know it.
happy.
Yeah,
That is it.
and that's
Now,
it.
is your preference to have a bride that that you can steer more, or is it you know do your stylists look at them and go, I know what would fit you just right, or
Yeah, I mean, we like to have, you know, we like to have some guidelines if the bride has an idea. You know, it just kind of gets things started. We can pull a few things before the appointment, so that always helps.
a little prep work?
So a little prep
Yeah.
work is fine. But like I said, the stylist, this is what they're trained for. They'll steer you in the right direction. They know, you know, everything from the venue to the body type to, you know.
That's it.
Oh,
They're
it's gotta
they're
look good
pros.
in the room too.
They're
Yeah,
pros.
Regine, it's got to look good in the room.
Don't over prepare. Just go. Part of the experience
Yeah,
of
just go, have
planning
the
a wedding
experience.
is the actual experience of planning. It's not just the wedding day.
Right.
It is planning and experiencing it, enjoying it. And listen, there are some things that are like, oh my god, I got to. But I think dress
You know,
shopping.
and it's gotten so much different. I mean, you know, like I wasn't as involved in the business as at this time than like my parents, but I remember when brides would, you know, before social media, they would come in with no idea whatsoever,
Right,
and that was
right.
like that was the standard, you know.
Right.
Or they would go through Brides magazine.
Right, yeah.
Brides magazine was like this thick.
Yeah.
And
Bunch of
you know,
earmarked pages,
bunch
yeah.
of earmarked pages, and they would bring them in.
Mm-hmm.
But really, it was more of just a, you know, coming in and exploring. Now with social media, it's like brides get, and you know what too, when you look at too much, we've had brides that purchase their dress and then they go online after. And they're looking through more dresses, and then they say, oh, you know, they call us. They're like, I'm not sure. Can I come back? And you know,
Right,
so
yeah.
you don't want to drive yourself crazy.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's if you come in and you look great in it, like
Just look great.
You just look great. Like I gotta look greater. Like you look great in it. Like
Yeah, you look
know, like,
wonderful.
and listen, your groom or bride, they're gonna see you and be like, you look amazing.
Yeah,
They're not gonna be like, really.
No matter what, you pick the right one.
Right.
Right.
You came in that
Yeah.
like, and
Yeah.
for the partners out there, grooms, bride, whatever. The dress looks amazing.
Has that ever happened to you? Where you doing the first look and you turn around and went, "What? What did you pay?"
No, I can't say that it has, and I hope it never does happen. You know, but no, it is.
No,
very
and
much-
we'll help steer a bride that way. Like
Sure.
if we feel that there is something that would look more flattering, we'll you know, politely guide her to that and say,
Sure.
but it's ultimately her decision. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to feel pretty in it, right?
Yeah.
But
Yes.
a little help never hurt.
for sure. Little help never hurt.
That's really funny. Although, all right. So speaking of that, John, though, engagement shoots and first
Engagement
looks.
shoots,
All right.
first
So
looks.
question number 10. This one's for John. How soon can I schedule my engagement shoot, and about how long does it take?
It takes 7 hours.
Yes.
And, no.
7-hour shoots. VIP treatment.
It takes about an hour, and you can schedule as soon as you book with us. One of the things we like to do is you book with us, and obviously time of year has something to do with it because nobody wants to do an engagement shoot in the middle of February. But we do an engagement shoot specifically with the photographer that shoots your wedding, and so really, you book us today, and next week you'd be like, hey, I want to schedule something for a week or two later. We'll direct you time of day, obviously availability, and kind of set you up in the right way. You can get your hair and makeup trial done beforehand to make it all align. So it takes about an hour. You can do it literally after you book us, and like I said, it's with the photographer that's going to be there for the wedding, just because personality really matters. I mean, as you know, with your stylist, the personality, I'm sure, really matters as well. As with your MCs,
You gotta
personality
connect.
matters. You got to connect,
You
and
gotta
with us,
connect.
you're spending 10 hours with us, and so you have to like us. So
We
that's
do
a
like
great
you, John. He's so likable. You gotta come hang out in here with him.
Yes, I'll shoot my Polaroids for you.
Don't
all right.
shake him.
Don't shake him.
Don't you shake that
Matt, my
Polaroid.
mom is paying for the DJ, but our music tastes are very different. How do you handle mom paying with the bride's taste? Like, what goes on there, man? I mean, and they she just M. They didn't want to say who M. So because
a
mom
question
might be
from
watching.
M, yeah.
So yeah.
So it does get a little bit gray when the person who writes my check
Yeah.
has different taste than the person whose party it is. All right, it does get gray. Not that I've run into shipwrecks. All right, usually we're all able to work it out. So at the end of the party, fast forwarding to the end of it, both of you will have heard songs that you love. Okay, so that's the end. The
Yes.
end is everybody got to hear something at some point. Where it gets a little bit tricky and tricky to navigate specifically is if the woman who paid me wants to hear certain songs at a certain time. So after dinner is usually like my big dance set. Me and my DJ would go, after dinner we explode. All right. So that's the busiest, most bumping set of the night. So if mom wants to hear her songs during that and the bride doesn't,
I feel like mom, honestly, just as a parent, like, come on, mom, like, really, it's your daughter's
mom
day.
should give in.
It's funny because we encounter that as well with the dress.
Yes,
because-
right, yeah.
Yeah, so mom can have an input on the dress
Oh,
also.
of course.
Yeah,
I mean,
the relatives come to mom, the grandma. We've had not good scenarios because,
Yeah.
because the bride
Yeah.
loves a dress and the mom just hates it. My advice, and this is more advice for any moms that are maybe listening that are paying for the dress or the music.
Yeah, because moms foot the bill for
Just-
dresses too. Yeah, just the same.
I
Yeah.
would say you got to leave it up to the bride. You have to leave it up to the bride. That is.
I heard a little.
Yeah.
I heard a little sound, like a little.
Because we are live. So yeah.
Oh,
so you hear
okay,
some
we are
sound
live.
sometimes.
So yeah, I mean that is honestly moms or whoever it is. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're like, you should just give the gift
Right.
without expectation.
Exactly.
Well, I do agree, but then that's why, like I said, is at the end of the night, I pinky promise, Ma, you're gonna get to hear the songs before your guests leave. Don't worry, everybody is leaving. Not everybody's leaving. They're gonna wait the extra 10 minutes to hear the songs and get their dance set in. I promise.
Yes, well,
But,
that is, and that's. I mean, look, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and I'm sure there's no obscure songs out there.
No, but if we can yield to the bride, I always recommend that. Absolutely, and I see the same thing in your
Yep,
industry.
yep,
Yeah.
Okay, so I got a little sort of a topic here that I'll combine into a question here. So we spoke a little bit about this earlier. Brides today influenced by TikTok, Pinterest, celebrity fashion. So how is it that with all those moving parts, you're taking this and narrowing it down? Obviously, we mentioned bride's input or whatever, but
Right.
a lot of outside, Kardashians and Pinterest and this and that. So how do you kind of distill all that down to where you can help them and they don't spend 4 hours,
Right.
so.
Well, it's our job to, be on top of that and scour social media, Instagram, Pinterest, celebrity weddings to see what the trends are and, bring them in for our brides.
Right.
That's what we can do.
Right.
That's all we can do. The rest is really up to the bride. And I think, going back to what I was saying before, the key is to just not overwhelm yourself with too
Yeah.
much social media.
Yeah,
It's only going to drive you crazy, and it's not gonna help your appointment.
yeah, and it's like that you kind of have FOMO. It's like, is this the best thing that you know what I mean? It's like that.
The FOMO is very real. So
It
real.
is.
yeah,
You don't want to
yeah.
pick the wrong dress
It's
and then.
very
Oh my
real.
God, I got this.
and they worry about this designer's popular, everyone's wearing. It does not matter.
Right.
No one at the wedding is going to say, I mean, unless like your cousin is getting married and they wore the same dress.
A week before, you
We've
know.
had that.
Yeah, yes. Every situation has happened. Yeah, you've been in business
Unless
50
it's
years.
it's a situation like that, the guests are not going to be. They're not going to be judging you like you think they're judging.
They're not savvy
It
enough.
doesn't
in the
have.
English.
Yeah,
I get it.
just pick something that you feel beautiful in, and your guests will love it.
Unless Anthony is a guest at your wedding, in which
Then I'll be
case
judging.
you better have your act together. All right.
Yes.
Yeah. You
You
better
better.
have had picked the best one possible.
That's it. We're here live with Anthony from Bridal Reflections. Thank you on the Ask Us Shit podcast. We are moving along. Wow, 45 minutes in, just like that. Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
We're
and,
just,
and
you
look
know,
at us.
Look at us.
Oh,
Look at us.
for a minute we had sombreros.
We unlocked, on TikTok here. Look at all these people on TikTok. Hi, TikTok.
Hey,
You know,
TikTokers.
TikTok.
Yep, there it is.
there
Yep,
we-
sombreros.
Oh, sombreros. Look at us. I
Howdy.
don't know how that happened. Somebody just sent a gift. Thank you for the sombreros. We
Thank you
got
for the
that.
sombreros.
Hopefully we can get a
TikTok.
little we can get a little picture of that, you know.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so what do we got here? So we went through
Yeah, we got. Well, actually, John, there's a bonus question for you, buddy.
Oh,
you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
All right,
I'm ready.
buckle up.
Buckle
all right?
up.
Because what is the best way to budget for professional video and photography without overspending? They don't want to throw money at the problem, John.
Right. Well, it's not a problem. First of all, you know, it's a yes.
It's a solution.
It's a solution. Right. Exactly. I walked right into that. Now,
He set the alley-oop. I just dunked it.
So here's what I'll tell you. The day of,
Mhm.
you get what you need. There are things in a wedding that, obviously, bride wearing a gown, having music playing. You want coverage of photo. You want video. Your album is not being made till after the wedding. We're not doing your thank you cards or canvases or any of that printed stuff till after the wedding. You know, even like a wedding trailer.
Even editing, yeah.
Yeah, we're not making till after the wedding. So my advice is focus on getting great photographers, video there that day, coverage, and worry about the part B afterwards because we're not making it till after the wedding anyway. So that is really what I would, and every wedding is different. Obviously, if you've got 70 people at a small function, you don't need 2 photographers, 2 video, drone, whatever. You know, I mean, like stay within your budget,
Yeah,
your
be smart
expectations.
about it.
You know, and it all comes to balancing. You become like a wedding accountant when you're planning a wedding because it's the dress, it's the entertainment, it's the flowers, it's so many different things. And so my advice would be to focus on, like I can't send somebody back in a time machine to photograph the wedding. I can give you a wedding album after the fact, you can get thank you cards after the fact, but we can't go back and say, well, let's add that second photographer or video because we didn't get
can't
it.
record Dad's speech
yes.
after Dad
Yes,
made it.
you know, and so that would be one of the things that I always, you know, I've said for many years is
Sombreros are back.
the sombreros are back.
Yeah,
wow.
well, when you look
Love
that good, yeah.
When you
Someone
look that
gives
good.
us this.
We sombreroed up. All right. So Matt, there was another question for you here, but I'm gonna. I think Dominic, you need to get me that other question.
I don't know if that froze.
Oh, okay, I'll just turn that off. Oh, low power mode. We froze. We froze with sombreros on TikTok.
Yeah, well, we're very popular.
We're at 10% there. We're winding up here. Okay, so well, we kind of teased this out. Broader reflections. What's next? Any exciting events, collections, or milestones coming up? Handing this one off.
Yeah.
Alley-oop for the dunk. I mean, we spoke about it earlier, but
Tell them what's about to happen. Tell them what you're doing.
Well, obviously the big thing is the fashion show next week.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a big thing.
And the grand opening of the newly renovated Carl Place location. The Massapequa location is undergoing renovations, so that will be probably open more towards the end of the year.
Okay.
So that's something to look forward to as well.
Yes.
But, you know, aside from that, I would just say really just keep an eye on our social media and our website. We have trunk shows most weekends, but especially like towards the end of the summer, fall, we have more fashion shows.
Okay.
So, you know, definitely. And because we just renovated Carl Place and we have this nice, beautiful space now, we will be doing more fashion shows at Carl Place.
Right.
For the brides that maybe don't want to go into the city for the fashion shows.
Right.
But
Right.
we always have those in the fall, so definitely keep an eye out for those announcements.
Follow them on socials. They do a great job on their social media, Brenna and the team.
Big shout out to Brenna.
Big shout
Big
out to
shout
Brenna.
out to
She's
Brenna.
all, sombreros are back. Look at her.
That's actually
that
really
keep
funny.
happening?
I like that.
That may be Brenna. I don't know.
It might be Brenna. It could be, right? She's showing us some love there, right? But all right, so and so yes, next week the pod will be live at this grand sort of reopening,
Right.
but it's really a grand opening because you're going to see some great stuff. You're going to have some. I mean, I would imagine some top designer stuff there, right? I mean, is there specific designers that are going to be there? Or?
Well, primarily we're featuring the Eva My Lady.
Oh, that's right. I'm
So
sorry.
she-
You said
so-
that earlier.
Yeah, so
my
the,
bad.
the
My bad.
designer
Yes.
will be there.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So,
Maybe
Eva
my wife
is
can
coming?
come.
Eve
Yes.
will be there. Yes.
Eve will be there. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay,
Should I
that's
bring
amazing.
I should bring
Yes.
like an outfit for her to autograph or something, right?
you can.
Yeah,
We have one.
100%.
That would be really weird.
Why? I'll wear it here.
You're
That'd
gonna
be
wear
great.
it
I think I have an extra piece that's your size.
Oh,
Thank you very
yes.
much.
He's got an extra piece.
We'll get you in it.
Yes.
Appreciate that.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Yeah.
So what do you think has contributed? So like this is just kind of like
Yeah.
a longevity, success of Bridal Reflections. It's such a competitive market.
How are you doing it?
What do you think? I mean, how?
Yeah, I mean it is a super competitive market, especially in New York. I think it's the most competitive in the country.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Winning gowns,
And you know, basically we just chalk it up to service. I mean that was, you know, my father and mother started the business. My father, who passed in 2016, that was really his mantra. It is all about the service, and that's the philosophy that myself, Rosa, and Christina operate on. You know, are we perfect? No, no one is perfect, but if we mess up, we fix it. So
Yes.
You strive for it, which
that's
is the
it.
biggest part.
Yeah. So you know, and you know, our track record is great. We've never missed
Yes.
a wedding.
No.
So you know, that's bottom line is that the people have to, the ownership and the management have to take you know, interest and
Yes, and responsibility. Yes.
for the business. And there's always an owner in the store. I actually
Yes.
I answer when you text the store through the website. Like there's a little thing that pops up, text us, and it's like a woman. Like,
Right,
oh,
yeah,
text
yeah.
us. It's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's me.
Well, that's
me.
kind of cool.
Right.
Yeah,
know,
I handle
yeah.
the text. So
Yeah,
you
you're
so,
texting
I mean,
Anthony, so,
how many
you
other
know.
businesses you text them and you're talking to the owner? So,
That's it. Yeah.
That's the philosophy we take.
And that's honestly,
That's
that
what
is
it is.
hands-on. You're there every day, and that's true because I know you and I know how you guys operate, you and your sister and Christine, and it is really, Matt, you as well. It's important. Like there are,
You care.
you care. You've got a lot of options
and
out
it's,
there.
You know, it's our you know, it's our family's legacy and
Yeah.
and
50
over 50 years
over
and-
50 years.
Well,
Yeah,
and now
that's
I
right.
just want to circle back to what you just
Yeah.
said. So you're saying when you said we never missed a wedding, 50 years worth of brides,
Yeah, 50
every single one of them got their dress on their body the way they wanted it for their wedding.
yes, 100%,
That-
100%.
That's real. That is
So no
that's a-
naked brides.
that's
No
a
bride
serious-
walked
No
up
naked
down.
But that's what I'm
like,
saying,
I was
you know,
supposed to
that's
be
a-
wearing the no.
That's
No,
a
I mean,
serious
you know,
if
know.
there's
stat.
a-
Because
if a dress, you know, like we can't control everything. If a,
Right.
if a
Yeah.
dress comes in wrong or something like that, we work with the designer. We will fix
Yeah.
it.
You'll fix it.
We'll make it right.
yeah.
You know, if it's something that is not fixable, which doesn't really happen, you know, we'll get you
Yeah.
something else. You know, we're not going to let you.
And I think that's
Yeah.
one of
Walk
the things
down
when
the
I've
aisle
toured their location, seamstress, like it's all
Yeah,
like
yeah, I
it's
mean-
just right there. Like there's nothing being outsourced. There's not. It's
I mean,
like
almost 100% of things are fixable if
yeah.
there's an
I mean
issue
that's
and-
which I think is incredible. So all right. So I think we've got 53 minutes in the can here, partner.
Listen, man,
You know, so
we won the game.
we won
As
we won.
per usual.
We're gonna do our little. I think it's pod promo.
Pod promo.
Pod promo.
Live pod promo.
Pod promo is something that we offer for the 1 week between pods. So this week, into
Wednesday
next
to Wednesday.
week, Wednesday to Wednesday, which next Wednesday will be with this guy and his entire team next week, which you need to tune in.
Yeah,
By the way,
be there for that.
technically, I don't know how we're going to pull this off live, but we'll figure it out.
Lots of tripods.
So what we're doing for our pod promo for Matt and I, Bridal Box, which is something that is a great package. It is photo, it is video, it is DJ. We also offer floral here, so you're getting for all that for around 10K. What we're doing, if you book Bridal Box with us, Matt, or at least two of the three. So let's
Yes.
just say Matt and I, if you want to book
Because
all
we're
three,
sitting
great.
here. Yeah.
Right. You will get a free audio guest book for your event and
And you will get a free dancing on the cloud
on the
first
cloud.
dance.
On the cloud.
So if you
We're-
book Bridal Box Wednesday to Wednesday,
Wednesday to Wednesday, which is a great deal.
two
That's
bonus
$500.
new contracts only.
New contracts only.
New contracts only.
Yes,
All
yes,
right.
yes. And So yes, and Anthony, do you have a pod promo? I know we kind of threw this out to you there, and now we're putting you on the spot. You're like,
Oh,
oh my
yeah,
God,
yeah,
you
no,
know.
I-
It's like, I'm going to give you guys $1 million.
You'll get a dress.
Just go to the showcase next
Yes,
week. for
come
sure.
come to the showcase.
And there'll be some special
and there'll
offers
be
there.
there's some special offers.
There's some special offers there, so that should be reason enough.
Yeah, yeah.
You can text. By the way, text them.
Yeah,
and
I'm
you
gonna
know
go on the
he's gonna
website
be
right now and
answering.
text right now. Just be
So
like,
text say, I
Yeah.
want to come.
Text, say
RSVP. The
RSVP.
line is it's filling up. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
we're filling up. We have
Right.
you get a guest list and then a certain percentage always kind of fall
Right,
off.
right.
But we're getting
Is
there.
it
so.
is it complimentary or do you have to?
No, it's complimentary.
Okay.
It's
Oh,
complimentary.
I mean,
Oh,
come on,
awesome.
And I've been there. They serve a little champagne. They, and so it's
Mm-hmm.
doing it right. You don't have those new epoxy floors.
You should definitely.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Please walk on
Yeah,
the floors.
walk on the floors and somebody say something when you see the floor. Be
Floors
like,
were
wow.
a lot of work. Compliment them.
When you see the floors, say like, "My God, I don't
Wow.
think I've ever seen a nicer floor."
I am walking across this floor.
I feel like I'm dancing on a cloud here. There you go. So, but all right. Thank you very much for joining us here. This has been amazing. We
Best
love
stuff
it.
ever,
We're
yeah.
we're gonna keep doing it until you guys don't pay. And you just every week it gets to be more and more.
Yeah.
So for Matt, myself, and Anthony, I want to thank you guys for
Thank you
tuning
guys
in.
for having me.
Absolutely,
Yeah, thank you
my
for coming
friend.
in.
It's
This
always
was
great to
great,
have
yeah.
you.
Of course.
And
All right.
we will see you all next week live from
Live.
Bridal Reflections.
Bridal Reflections.
In Car Place. Hope to see you in person. And if you're there in person, we'll put you on camera. And
Episode 8.
all right, turn everything off.
Nice.
Boom! Look at that. Start just in time over here.
Yeah, right? Look
Those
at that.
sombreros are pretty kind of. I don't know how that
That was
happened.
fun.
That was
Yeah,
fun.
That
Yeah,
was really fun.
That was a lot of fun. So you got to turn off.